Sorry, I had to burp internally. Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do Crow Oracle Collective, the Collective, for today. Today is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. You may follow me on the Talk, the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. I realized when I did affirmations this morning that I said that I put everything in the description box, and I forgot because I have all my little description thing on my iPad. I forgot to transfer it over to my phone so I could add it on there. So I haven't been putting it in the description box. So I will go back and put all of that information in the description box just in case. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. We love that for you. Whatever doesn't fit, just leave it on the table for someone else. It's okay. Everything doesn't have to fit 100% of the time. You're only human. You can only allow so much to go on in your life at once, right? It's funny because I was watching a reading, and she was giving this reading, and I was like, oh my God, this is like my life like 3 years ago. And I was like, take how it resonates. Past, present, future. And I was like, yep, that was me 3 years ago. Doesn't pertain to me now, but that was me 3 years ago. And it's funny because when you think about it, when you watch readings, I mean, sometimes it hasn't happened yet. Sometimes it already happened. Sometimes it already happened 30,000 times. Sometimes you're in the middle of it, right? We're going to use the Urban Crow Oracle by MJ. You know it. I hope everybody's good. I went out and ran some errands. You all know when I drop cards on the floor, I always say, well, I don't always say, but I have said it. When I pick the cards up off the floor, I put them in the upright because I figure they fell on the floor, you know, they just go in the upright. Like, I've always had that mentality since I started reading. But why am I looking at this card and I'm thinking, that motherfucker is upside down. Oh my gosh. We have one on the floor. Two, three. I mean, I can pick up cards. It's not a big deal. It's just... four. Like, they're like flipping out in like odd ways where I'm getting like freaked out over here. God, I haven't read cards. I mean, I read affirmations this morning, but it's almost like I feel like I haven't read cards in so long, which is ridiculous. It's only been like 2 days, 3 days. Because I did readings on Saturday. 5. Two more shuffles, and then I'm going to pick up the card on the floor, which is funny because usually I pick them up right away, right? But something is telling me to wait. I don't know. The big finale. Why am I picturing the movie, with what's his name? What is it? The Big Show? Something show? It's, what is it? Like a circus or like a... Hold on. And I can't remember the actor's name, even though like everybody loves him or everybody used to love him. Something like that. Oh, it's probably not going to let me, it's not going to let me look because I don't have any, yeah, I don't have any. Ooh, can I? Can I? It's going to be like, no, you can't join this hotspot. I talked about that on one of the affirmations videos. Like, no, you cannot join the hotspot. Yeah, it won't let me look. It's like the Big Show or whatever. It's got what's his name in it. Like he's... Yeah, it won't let me look. Unfortunately, I'm using my phone for this, right? There was a really good song. It was like the main song for the movie, and it became like a #1 hit. I actually love the song. I can't remember. I can't remember his freaking name either. Oh, he played Wolverine, right? Didn't he play Wolverine? What's his name? Is that him? Or am I thinking of someone else? Last shuffle, by the way. Anyway, I was picturing, it's like, the movie is like a circus, or like they're in a circus or something like that. That's what I was picturing in my head. Like a scene from the movie. I didn't even, y'all, I've never even watched the movie. I heard the song. I love the song. But I've never seen the movie. And I'm not, he's okay. He's an okay actor. Obviously, I don't even remember his name. But I'm not like his biggest fan or anything like that. And for some reason, the name Edward Norton keeps coming into my head. And I know that's not the actor. I know who Edward Norton is. Ugh. All right, we got 6 on the table. So the card that fell on the floor, survival. And like I said, I always pull them in the upright, but for some reason, I instinctually wanted to pull it as in the reverse. And like I said, something told me to wait to pick it up last. I don't know why. Direction. Scavenge. I don't know why, I just don't question it. I do what I'm told. I do what my mind tells me. Curiosity. That was funny, right? I do what my mind tells me. Communication. And then bottom of the deck is nature. I'm going to move these so like they're not spread out so far. Because I like my cards. Let me show you. I like my cards like, I call it a palette, but I like my cards like that. Sorry, that was my little stand on the wall here. My Inca. My Inca. So, feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter. The survival card, whether it's upright or in the reverse, I'm just getting that somebody kind of teeter-totters, okay? Between feeling like they're fighting to survive and they're okay. And by that, I mean like, and this is just an example, but like, you know, you're a working man or woman, you know, you bring home a paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever the case. It's kind of almost like that paycheck to paycheck survival kind of mode, you know, like where, like, you know, like these 2 weeks is your mortgage or your rent. This week is like your car payment and your bills. And the other week is like your gas and your groceries for the whole month. You know what I mean? Like you have everything down to a T, but it's kind of like part survival, part I'm okay, you know, like it's not like saying somebody's floundering or anything like that. It's just like you kind of, like if anybody were to look from the outside, like people that understand would be like, oh, you're doing okay or whatever. But people that maybe, you know, make more money and don't really understand what it is, they're like, oh, like you're really poor. You must be fighting to survive. In my opinion, paycheck to paycheck, first of all, that's how most Americans are living right now. Let's just throw that out there. And that's probably how a lot of people around the world are living, in all honesty, paycheck to paycheck. It's become normal. Should it be the norm? No, absolutely not. Everybody should make enough money to where they don't feel like they just are surviving. That's ridiculous. You should be making enough money to where you at least somewhat feel like you're thriving, you know? Whoever this is, they just kind of teeter-totter back and forth. This is interesting. Okay, so whoever this person is with the direction and the scavenge card, so like I said, they're teeter-tottering between survival and being okay, but they're moving in the direction of, and this is probably going to sound a little weird because I don't think I've ever done a reading like this. They're moving in the direction of like with the scavenge card, it's not scavenging. It's like oh, I just had it and I just didn't say it. Thrifting. That's what I was going to say. Thrifting. Like this person is thrifting. So like instead of buying name brand groceries, like they're going to Walmart and buying the Great Value brand, or they're going to Aldi and buying, you know, whatever is the cheapest, or Trader Joe's if that's what's in your area, or whatever like grocery store would be the cheapest for you. For us here in the Midwest, in Northern Illinois, it would probably be like Walmart and then maybe like Aldi's. And then after that, it'd probably just be like coupon shopping, you know? Like I'm going to buy my meat at Jewel this week because it's, you know, 2 pounds for $10. And next week, I'm going to buy my protein shakes at Meijer because they went from $25 to $20. You know, like somebody's surviving, living off the deals. This is someone that, you know, maybe where they used to buy like name brand clothing, now they're just buying their clothing at Walmart or Target, you know? Like they're not buying Nike, they're not buying Calvin Klein pants, you know? They're just buying whatever's out there. I buy a lot of clothing now off of Amazon, and I got to tell you, it's not cheap. Even on Amazon, it's not cheap. But I can find some really nice clothing on there. You kind of have to take a chance, and you kind of have to be willing to make a return, you know, take it to a Kohl's or a drop-off or whatever. But for the most part, like, I'm usually pretty happy with the clothing. And like I said, it's not cheap on there, but sometimes you can get some good deals. Like when I buy my workout pants, I can get like a 3-pack for like $25, $30. So $10 for a pair of pants. I just have to buy 3 of them. I mean, that's not bad. You know what I mean? I bought some tank tops off of there, some turtlenecks off of there. I even bought my jacket off of there, my cute little blue plaid jacket off of there. You know, but whoever this is, like, yeah, it's like they're thrifting, they're shopping deals, they're trying to save money, cut corners where they can, right? I don't know, and I don't know who that. Okay, I don't know who this is, but with the curiosity, the communication, and the nature, whoever this person is, they're gonna go towards another person with some communication. They're curious about another person. Okay, so here's the thing. It's giving like the vibes of like somebody, and again, I'll just put it this way. Somebody living paycheck to paycheck, but they're watching someone else and they believe, right, that somebody else is doing so much better than them. So they want to go towards that person and they want to find out like how they're doing it. Like, what are you doing? Let me give this example. So let's say I work at my work, right? I have a regular job. I work full time. Sometimes I work overtime. You guys know the deal. If you follow, if you subscribe, you know my story. Let's say one of my coworkers is looking at me and looking at my new jacket, and they're like, that is a nice jacket. Like, where did she get that? Where did she get the money to buy that? Like, how did she afford that? Like, I can barely afford to buy a gallon of milk, you know? It kind of gives that kind of vibe, like somebody being curious about another person and how they're surviving, like how they're making it, and how it almost looks like they're doing better than them. And they want to know, like, what's your recipe? Like, how are you making it? And how are you doing better than me? Like, we both come from the same place. Kind of that kind of thing. It would be like, another example would be like, and this is just an example, but like two siblings, right? Like one goes off and does this for a living, and one goes off and does this for a living. And the one is looking at the other and being like, how do you live like that? Like, I make more money than you, but you look like you're living a better lifestyle. And it kind of goes back to the first part of the reading with the survival in the reverse, direction, and scavenge. It's all about how you spend your money, how you save your money, and how you spend your money, and how you balance your money, right? And it's like somebody not necessarily maybe knowing how to do that and wanting some information from another person. Like, how are you doing that? Like, how are you, you know? My right ear is buzzing. When my left ear rings, it's usually no good. And when my right ear rings, it's usually like a positive, like a yes, or whoever this is, it's not like a bad thing. It's not like somebody hating on another person. It's more like somebody seriously just not getting it. Like, I don't get it. There's nothing here about malice or anything like that. This is just somebody like wanting to go towards another person and saying, hey, you and I make the same $500 every week, take home the same $500 every week. How the hell do you look like you're thriving and I'm over here wearing threadbare underwear? You know, it kind of gives those vibes. It kind of gives those vibes. I'm just going to say this. Appearances can be deceiving, right? Appearances can be deceiving. And I'm also going to say this. You should never, ever be worried about what's going on in somebody else's home. You should always be worried about your own first. And that's in regards to anything. That is literally in regards to anything. That being said, this just kind of sounds like somebody that maybe doesn't know how to like balance their budget, doesn't know how to like, and I've told you guys before, again, if you follow, if you subscribe, if you know my story, I've told you guys before, part of my, I guess you would say mental illness, because we all have mental illness, right? We all go through periods of like manic and depression and all that. Is it manic, or do you say mania? Or whatever. Part of my issues is with spending. And I think that's because of how I was brought up, and I watched other people like around me, like adults, right? Like my parents, my grandparents, my family, how they spend money, how they earn money, how they spend money, how they save money or don't save money, right? And all of that kind of gets passed down to the next generation. And I'll just say this, as I've said before, I go through periods where like I spend like mad, you know, like I'm like, I spent all my money. And then I go through periods where I just save. And I've told you guys, and this is only what, the second week of January, not even technically the second week. We're technically still in the first week of January. Well, it'd be the last day of the first week, technically, when you think about it, 7 days. my goal for this year is any extra money I have, I want to put towards the principal of my mortgage to pay down my mortgage, and or I want to save for my trip to Italy. So like I have a goal, like I have a plan, like I have an idea in my head. My knee injury is kind of thwarting me a little bit because, you know, like I might have to do overtime on Saturday. And I was originally thinking I was going to do Saturday and Sunday and just, you know, bring in the dough, you know, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, stack it up, save it, save it. And now with my knee injury, I'm thinking, okay, if Saturday is still mandatory, I don't know that physically I should do Sunday, right? And I'm not really going to know until probably Friday. And Friday evening, I go for my ortho appointment, my first ortho appointment. So, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, for Christmas, I spent a ton of money at Christmas. A ton of money at Christmas. I think I told you guys, like, I spent, I think almost or around $500 on chocolate. Chocolate. Because everybody I knew, I gave them a box of chocolate. They had such a great deal. I told you, my speech is still off. It's still off. A great deal around Black Friday, and I bought all those boxes of chocolate, and then I went back later and bought a couple more because there were a few people I forgot. But I was giving out boxes of chocolate to my favorite people, like at work, my neighbors. And a box of chocolate at Fannie Mae is normally like $30, $32. At Black Friday weekend, it was $17 a box if you bought at least 5 pounds, 5 boxes. So, and I bought other things too, you know. That was like my main gift giving for the year. I bought some stuff for my dad, for my brother. I probably spent $125, $150 on them. I bought some stuff for me. I bought a bunch of stuff for the cats, you know. And I'm not even talking like the gift cards that I got from my dad and my brother and the gifts I got from everybody else. Like, this is just me spending money. But now is the time for me to start saving money, right? And I'm ready. I'm all for it. Like, let's go. Let's do this. The thing is now with my knee, like, I can't put forth the effort to work all the overtime I want because I don't want to make my knee worse, right? Even though, like, today, I had to go out and run a bunch of errands. And it was a little tough at first, but then I got home and now I'm kind of relaxing it and it's not bad. Like, I think it's getting better. Maybe it's getting better. Maybe I'm delusional, but I think it's getting better. Since they told me to use the wrap on it instead of the patella strap, I think it's getting better. But there's no rhyme or reason to money, to saving. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own thing. Everybody does their own thing, you know? And I'm not trying to tell somebody like, oh, you shouldn't bother to save or, oh, you shouldn't spend any money. Like, either way, it's not for me to tell anybody else how to budget themselves or anything like that. You have to figure out a good balance for yourself, right? And like I said, while I sometimes save, I also sometimes spend, right? And when I say I spend, I don't mean like necessarily necessary things. Like, I get in that mode where, like, oh, I bought myself for Christmas $500 worth of Hattie Thorn tarot cards and oracle cards. Did I need that? No. Did I want them? Yeah, I did. Was it a wise spend? I mean, for me it is, because it's part of my life. It's part of who I am. But for somebody looking in from the outside, they'd be like, you spent $500 on what? Right? Right. So now, I told you guys before, I think I told you guys last week, like, I had some stuff in my cart, like another $300 to $400 of Hattie Thorn cards in my cart. I have not ordered them. I want to, but if I order $300 to $400 of Hattie Thorn cards, I have to figure out where else to get that money from. You know? Because I have to buy groceries, I have to pay bills, I have to buy food for the kitties, I have to keep the heat on. So if I'm going to spend $300 to $400 on the Hattie Thorn cards, that basically means I can't spend any more money on anything else for probably like a month, month and a half, you know, because I do balance myself in fun money, you know, every month. You should always try to have a little fun money for whatever you want to do. If you want to go out to dinner, if you want to go watch a movie, if you want to buy tarot cards, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But $500 of tarot cards is, again, probably like a month and a half, maybe even 2 months worth of fun money, you know? For some people, that's like their grocery bill for the month, you know? It's all about perspective and how you look at it. And the only advice I have for whoever this person is that's having a hard time, that's like not able to balance out their stuff, is like you have to figure that out for yourself, you know? Because like I said, I go through periods where I spend money. I go through periods where I save money. And the funny thing is when I spend money, you can't talk me out of it. Like, it's already spent. It's already gone. And when I'm in the mode to save money, you know, somebody will be like, oh, like, let's go do this or that. It's only going to cost $50. And I'll be like, no, sorry. I'm saving $50 for my mortgage payment. I'm saving $50 for my trip to Italy. Like, when I set my mind to something, that's what I do. So somebody just needs to kind of figure out like their own balance and what works for them. And I also think it's good to be honest with yourself about your budget, right? Like if you work a full-time job and you literally only have like 100 extra bucks at the end of the month for fun money, then you literally only have $100 at the end of the month for fun money. The question is do you need to have fun every month? I mean, that's 25 bucks a week, basically. What are you going to do with it? Go out to dinner? What is $25? Two Burger King meals, 2 Arby meals, 1 Panda Express meal. Panda Express is kind of expensive. 1 Chili's meal. I don't know. Like $100 for me would probably be me going to the piercing lady and getting a new piercing and buying a piece of jewelry and giving her a good tip. 125 bucks. That would probably be it for me. I would rather do that than buy new clothes. I would rather do that than get new tarot cards. It's all about balance. It's all about priority. And again, like I said, paycheck to paycheck, most Americans, most people in the world are living like that, whether they want to admit it or not. Most are. It's just a fact. Inflation is crazy. Prices are skyrocketing every day. It's just the way it is. Seriously. And I will never, you will never ever hear me seriously tell somebody, well, go out and get a second job or take overtime if you want to take overtime to spend money, blah, blah, blah. Listen, if you want to do those things, feel free. You do those things. And again, I work overtime at my job, but I will tell you this, I would only ever take on a whole other second job if I absolutely had to, because I value my time. I value my free time. Like in the spring, the summer, fall, I don't want to be stuck in the warehouse all day, every day. I just don't. I want to be outside, walking, doing my thing. I don't want to be wasting away in a warehouse, even if it is an extra $200 on my paycheck every week. I don't care. It's not worth it to me. And I'd rather scrimp and save and budget cut and, you know, balance down for the month so that I can be outside and enjoy the weather and get the sun and the fresh air and all that stuff. You know, that's my priority in those seasons. Like I couldn't care less about money. So it's all about the individual. That's all I'm going to say. And everybody has to find their own groove. Because like I said, I have the tendency to spend and I have the tendency to save. And when I put my mind to it, that's what I do. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope it resonates for somebody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you were entertained. I hope you all had a lovely Wednesday. I'll talk to you later. Bye.